Assalamu Alaikum and Ramadan Kareem. Something we've learned from this period of COVID is how the diversity of experiences people around the world have had with COVID, both within the scientific community, the public health, the economy, the political side, how every aspect of life has been affected, but how much we have learned from each other. How to even wash our hands properly, we've learned those from other people. How to protect ourselves. Vaccinations coming from different parts of the world, each with its own strength and weakness. And so we have seen that when human beings come with their full diversity, we learn so much more than we would ever have learnt left to our own selves and our own devices. The diversity that Allah has made possible, both in terms of our ethnicities and our races, the regions, and all the experiences, including our religions, and all the experiences that those have resulted in, have been a big toolbox to help every individual. We are better off because of our diversity. Left to ourselves, we would probably like to think that the world would be a better place if it only had us living in it. Our religion only, our ethnicity only, our race only, people just like us. If the world was just full of people like us, it would have been a much better place. I think COVID has very clearly shown that that is not true. That diversity has lessons in it. When we look at the diversity of humanity, we remember that Allah says in the Quran that He sent prophets and messengers to all of humanity. All of humanity. Every community has one time or the other, at one period or the other in its own history, had a prophet or messenger with guidance. And some might have lost it, some might have forgotten that guidance, but it has in one way or the other enriched the cultures where these prophets were sent. And we are asked by Allah, after in Surah Al-Hujurat He talks about the diversity in our nations and tribes, genders, etc. He then says that this diversity is lita'arafu, that you should get to know one another better, to learn about others and for others to learn about us. Allah encourages us to cooperate in the doing of good and virtue and acts of piety. And we see that collaboration in the way we all are trying to address the issues to do with COVID. Many don't give thanks to other cultures, but we do appreciate where different good ideas are coming from. But if we take Ramadan as a period of introspection, a time to think more carefully, maybe we will realize that if human beings could actually appreciate that diversity and see how to protect it, to enjoin right and forbid wrong, but respect that diversity, that we would have a much better planet, a much better community. And that if the world was full of people just like us, it may not really be a better place. That there is wisdom in why Allah decided not to make us all one ummah. And while we enjoin right and forbid wrong, and we encourage others to do the same, when we look into the mirror more carefully, and we look at our own communities, we probably realize that on the average day, the greatest murders within our community are committed by our own people. The greatest corruption within our community are done by our own people. That the small and micro and medium corruption and messing up of society, our society, is actually done by our own people. And when we look at those who are corrupt in the financial sense, in every sense, moral sense, those who steal and loot the millions and billions, in our community, the degradation of infrastructure, healthcare systems, education, it's actually done by our own people. Let us look at the diversity as what we could actually benefit from, and probably from COVID, understand that there are many other problems we have in our own communities, which if we were just to be humble enough to appreciate the diversity of Allah's creation, to look for the good in others and not keep getting so obsessed with how good we are and how bad others are, that we will realize that if good people could cross the racial and ethnic and religious boundaries and appreciate the good in others, we would actually have solutions to most of our problems. May Allah continue to make us humble through this month of Ramadan. May Allah help us appreciate that there is the blessing in that diversity, and that we may not actually be better off alone if Allah had not given us that diversity. Ramadan Kareem. Assalamu Alaikum.